Episode 2 of
It only gets better from here. It's just up and up. There's no going back.
Arizona's best podcast.
We're setting records.
That's what we should call this. Arizona's best podcast. How about that?
Yeah, if it's available.
AZ's best.
If it's available, we'll take it. Because we definitely are Arizona's best.
Definitely.
Can't get any better than this.
On the road to setting records, making things happen.
That's right.
My mom might watch it, at least an episode.
Hey, you know what? My dad would probably watch these. All of them.
Yeah. It's so good to have good parents.
It is good to have good parents. We're so blessed.
believe it.
Been born of goodly parents.
Yeah.
I was talking to my kids about that this morning.
And you're telling them how blessed they are
And
to have
I
you.
did. I said, hey, are you guys born of goodly parents? And they're like, I said, oh no, this is what I said. Who here is born of goodly parents? And one of my kids raises their hands. One of them says, just like groans. And then the other one like slowly raises her hand.
Am I supposed to say yes to this?
Right. But it was an eye-opener because I asked him, I said, how can I be a better parent? Like, what can I do? And then you know, kids tell you.
Yeah, that's good of you,
Dad,
man.
stop smacking me so hard. You know, just little hits are good, but just not so hard.
Right.
Speaking of smacking.
Slow improvements, yeah.
Speaking of smacking. Your daughters were at the same event as my kids the other day.
Okay.
On a
Yeah,
trampoline.
I wasn't there, though.
You were not there, and you didn't talk about this because this was amazing to me.
Okay.
Your oldest daughter,
Mm-hmm.
well, both of them, but your oldest daughter.
She's 9.
She's 9.
Mm-hmm.
She could take a beating?
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
And she could give a beating.
Okay. Who'd she get in a fight?
They were
What
on the
happened
trampoline.
here?
Yeah, they were on the trampoline with my boys,
Uh-huh.
and there was one other cousin. You know, all kind of tougher. Not my kids aren't tough, but you know what I mean. They're a little aggressive.
Yeah.
And they were throwing each other around. And I was like, at one point, I said something, and it, you know, I guess I'm not allowed to say this, but I was like, don't throw it so hard at the girls. And your daughter was like, what are you trying to say?
I'll take you out, man.
That's what I liked about her.
She gets that from her mom. Her mom's tough, man.
She's tough.
Yeah. No little wimps around my house. Come on, man.
Dude, I was amazed because they just stayed in the ring. And they were, again, throwing each other on the ground, on the trampoline, and then back and forth. She was
My
giving
6-year-old girl will come running up to me at night and be like, Dad, let's wrestle. I'm like, no, I don't want to wrestle tonight. She's always wanting to wrestle.
Dude, that's
It's
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
You've raised some tough girls. I like that. I
They're
appreciate
fun.
that.
They're fun kids, yeah. I like kids.
I don't know how-
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're annoying. Did I say that out loud?
Oh.
Dude, so let's talk about some stuff today.
Okay.
How you liking mortgages right now?
Mortgages are good, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's fun.
You like giving people money?
I love giving people money. No, it's been really good.
That's good. So I heard you have some issues though. Some issues with the Arizona real estate contract.
Oh, yes. I do have a problem with that Arizona real estate contract.
Now why is that? Now so this is a standard contract. It's like 10, 11 pages. Pretty much all the realtors use it, right? Because even though we can work on someone's behalf, we're not lawyers. Real estate agents aren't lawyers. Did you know that?
No, I thought you were a lawyer.
No, we're not lawyers.
Okay.
So the Arizona State whatever real estate board came up with this contract for us to fill in the blanks and use as a general template, right?
Does it change? How often does it change?
So it does change. I think this last one changed in 2020. Maybe they had an update in 2022. You know, they'll do small changes here and there. Over the years, they add more and more pages as they try and protect people more and more. And, you know, our legal system gets more complicated, I guess.
They just add a period here. Maybe, we forgot this comma.
Exactly. Instead of using the word and, we use the word or, you know, stupid stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
But it gets updated from time to time. It's not like you can buy real estate in Arizona without using that contract. But I would say on 90% of the transactions, it's the contract.
That's what we see all the time.
Yeah.
So, now here's my problem with it. It has
All right,
nothing
what
to do
is
with the
it?
mortgage side, okay? I mean, maybe I could pick something apart on the mortgage
Now,
side.
you just
but-
recently bought and sold a home, right?
Correct.
So is this from a personal
So this
experience?
is from a personal
Okay.
experience, okay?
Okay.
So, I didn't read it.
Yeah.
You know, the realtor sends it over. I sign it. I don't read it. It's like way too long to read.
Well, it's like 11 pages of legal
Yeah.
mumbo jumbo.
So, anyways, we're under contract. We're selling a house.
Okay.
We already had purchased the other house. Okay.
Okay.
So we're slowly moving. It took a long time. Slowly moving to the other house. At one point, my son comes over with the TV mount
Okay. Yeah.
from his room.
Yep.
Screws it into the wall, and I hung his TV up. I said, "Son, if you put it on, I'll hang it up." He said,
In
"Okay."
your new house.
In the new house.
Yep. Okay.
So he hangs it up, and he goes, "Dad, I want to get the other TV mounts." I said, "Okay, cool." So I go over to the house, and then it clicks to me, and I said, "You know what? I should probably ask my real estate agent. Is this okay that I'm taking these mounts?"
Yeah.
So I sent a picture to him, and I said, "Hey, is it okay that I'm taking these mounts?" He says, "No,
Yeah.
those are fixed
Fixtures.
fixtures."
They're part of the home.
And I said to him, "Who the heck wants an old mount?" Because obviously I could take the TV with the things that are attached to my TV, the little hooker parts that hook onto the mount. But for me, I have to leave that. And I'm like, who wants that? How dumb is that? So then I got upset because every mount is different and every connector is different. So it's not like you could bring your TV with your connectors on the back and hook it onto the next one because they're all made differently. You see what I'm saying? They're all different sizes.
Sure.
They're all different widths.
Uh-huh.
And so I thought it was a very silly thing to have in a contract.
It is pretty funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
But so that's how it's defined in Arizona. So fixtures are anything that is screwed in or attached to the home. Personal property is anything that is not. So we'll get into this with appliances, for example. Your stove is supposed to be attached to the home with anti-tip brackets, so it's supposed to stay. Your built-in microwave, that's supposed to stay with the home. Refrigerator, you just plug in though. Washer and dryer, you just plug in. So those are personal property. Usually you can take those.
How funny, man.
Window dressings, like coverings, like curtains, those are considered attached. Those are supposed to stay with the house.
Wait, now, how are those considered attached when a curtain is on a rod and you just lift it off?
Because you screw the rod in, or the rod holder.
What if the rod, though, you can just lift off?
Now, I don't know. I mean, technically they're supposed to stay. That's how it's written, right?
That's what's so funny.
So the basic definition is, now here's the deal. Are most people going to care if you take the TV mounts? They're not going to care.
No.
And a lot of people just take those and nobody says anything because
they're going to get their owners.
own. Yeah, the new
they're
owners
$25
are like, who cares?
on
So-
Amazon.
What your real estate agent should do is just be like, hey, is it cool if he takes the TV mounts? 90% of the time people are going to say, oh yeah, go ahead. For the 10% that don't, I guess you pay another $50 and buy some new TV mounts.
So here's what happened.
Yeah.
Fast forward. Here's what happened. I ended up. So here's. Okay, I'll tell you what happened, and then I'm going to tell you the trick behind it all and how to make it easy for you.
How to make, yeah.
I know how to make it easy. now.
Okay, how's this?
Okay, so what ended up happening was the buyer said, yes, I want them. So I
Okay,
had
awesome.
to take them off. No, I didn't do that. No, I just bought a brand new one.
Yeah.
I bought a brand new one and I just went and put that one on because I didn't want to move it. That's what I did. I bought a brand new one for that room, just mounted it up.
put it
and I
back
said,
up,
you know,
yeah.
here we go. But here's the trick. So the trick is when you move to the new house, you take your TV, you don't take the brackets off because again, those brackets that are connected to the back of the TV,
Uh-huh.
they could be different for every TV because TVs bend. And so there's different spacers and stuff that you have back here. And that's why I think it's so silly because everyone's going to be different.
Yeah.
But anyways, I took the TV off. I left my mounting brackets on it. I bought the exact same, what are they called? Now that I'm on this thing again?
TV stand, TV,
TV holder? What are they
Yeah.
called?
yeah, the TV
Mount.
mount.
So
There
I
we
bought,
go.
I
That's
brought,
the
I
word.
brought
We're dumb, dude.
We've been talking about this all the time. I bought the
mount.
exact same TV mount and
Yeah.
then just took the pieces that he needs, or you know what I mean, that I needed, and then gave him the rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has to be the exact same amount, and you can do that. You can just take yours off, and then that way he has all the bolts and pieces for his that he needs
For
to
his
connect.
TV.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I ended up doing. But
Well, that's good of you, man. It's good of you. And it's funny that these things. So I'll give you another example of where that came into play for a client of mine. Doorknob. They had just put on this new smart doorknob,
Okay.
like keyless entry, that type of thing, right? And they're like, hey, we're going to take that with us. Well, the new buyer was like, hey, that was on the home when we walked through. We don't want that changed out for some crappy doorknob.
yeah.
And the buyer was ready to cancel the contract over the doorknob, right? And you think that's not a big deal, but that's where fixtures versus personal property becomes a big deal.
So what is it? Because the same thing with like Ring doorbells. A lot of people they spend $200.
They're like, hey, I'm going to take it with me. Or this is another one that I ran into with a client. The programmable wireless thermostat, like the Nest or whatever, right? He's like, hey, I just installed that.
People spend money on it. They're like, I'm going to take it.
I'm taking that with me.
They like it.
But that was attached to the home.
Right.
It was part of the functioning of the home. And they're like, oh, I'll put my old one up. No, but that's not what the buyer bought. Right?
Correct.
So in both those situations, what I ended up doing as a real estate agent, because obviously I look at that as, okay, I didn't clearly communicate to my client that they needed to leave the doorknob or that they needed to leave the thermostat. So I bought a new thermostat for the new buyers, or I bought a new doorknob. And look, stupid on my end, right? But that's a stupid tax you pay when you don't explain things properly. And how is a consumer supposed to know that?
Stupid tax, isn't that from Dave Ramsey?
Yeah,
Doesn't he say
yeah,
stupid tax?
I paid a lot of that in my life. No, just kidding.
Sometimes we'll call it tuition, because if we didn't go to school,
Yeah,
that's our tuition.
School of hard knocks, right?
I believe, Craig, you're going to come across this more and more because, at least at my old house, my sprinklers were on a wireless Wi-Fi thing. All of our cameras that are connected, and I asked the realtor about that too. Hey, what about all these cameras?
Yeah.
Because some people are like, they're kind of personal, but they're not because they're attached, but they're... Because when things become technology, we feel like it's ours, like it's personal property.
Right.
And even though it's a smart feature, it technically, like you said, is fixed to the house, and it's not. But we have this mentality, no, all electronics I buy are mine.
And it's easy to overlook that stuff. Like you're just not going to think of it in the process of moving until you're ready to take it down, right? Like you didn't think about your TV mounts.
Not at all.
Until your son was like, hey, Dad, I want my TV mount.
He brought it up. I was proud of him. He took it off the old house, put it on the old, and put it on the new house.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
so the Ring doorbells. There was one other thing I was thinking about. That's all. But yeah, that has to stay, right? That Ring doorbell.
Yeah,
all
unless you write it in the contract that, hey, you're taking this out. Because it could get to this point. What if somebody's like, hey, I want the fan in my living room. And all of a sudden the person moves into the house. They don't have fans. They don't have light switches. They don't have light bulbs.
Yeah, you can't.
You're like, yo, I just bought a house and I can't even do anything. Right?
Right.
Or, hey, I just put in these new kitchen cabinets. I'm going to take them out. No, that's part of the house. So these things are in the contract for a reason.
Right.
And some of them might be a little bit silly, like, oh yeah, the TV mount, that's a little bit silly, right? But you have to specify that because
In
it
the
can lead
contract.
to...
So everything's
things.
got to be written out. If you go sit down to a real estate agent and say, hey, I want to take this and this and this. Okay,
Yeah.
well, then let's put it in the contract.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they stay.
Exactly. Yeah. Otherwise somebody could be like, dude, I'm taking the carpet with me. This is plush.
It's true because the gray line got really gray.
Yeah,
It's like, where is the line anymore? You
Yeah.
have to draw that line somewhere.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And that's why it helps to talk about these things and go over them and have a professional with you.
Yeah.
But
A professional.
yeah, well, me specifically, I am the best real estate agent out there. Gosh.
Specifically Craig.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
That's it, though. That's the only issue you had with the whole contract?
That was it. That was my only
That's good.
beef. Was it just upset me. Like for days I was thinking about this. It wasn't just like a one time, it was like multiple texts.
Okay, so that's what's funny to me. Is how much did this mount?
Bothered me, dude. It's like
Cost?
$25-$40.
So you're making, $100,000 selling your house, and the $40 to spend on TV mount is what pisses you off the whole time,
Which is
right?
yeah. Same thing with the doorbells. You know, people just spend $200 on one of those or 300, how much
Yeah.
they are, and then they're like, well, you just sold your house.
And I
Even
think,
if you made 50 grand on selling a house, whatever.
yeah.
Dude, it's okay. The 200.
Dude, I think that's human nature, though. Like, I think that's how people are. We're like, gosh dang it. The $2 I lost is way more important to me than the $10 that I gained. And that's how we are.
Yeah.
And so we have to be able
Caught
to
up.
get past that somehow. And usually it's communication in the beginning, but there are things that get overlooked, and there are things that come up. And so it's how do you handle those and how do you overcome them? Because, I mean, you probably see it with mortgages. It's the little stuff that usually gets in the way of people having the success that they want. Right? Like that buyer was ready to walk away over a $60 doorknob. I'm like, hey, I'll buy you a $60 doorknob. It's okay. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars versus $60, right? And so it becomes one of those things where it's like, okay, you got to look at it logically instead of emotionally.
Right.
And if you can pull away and do that, usually you'll be all right.
And you'll get a brand new doorknob that doesn't have any old people's greasy hands on it.
Exactly.
You know, those COVID-infested slapping
Exactly.
boogers from their kids. Just
Exactly.
who knows who pushed those buttons on that thing. So I'm glad you got him the new one.
Yeah. Or you can spend a few days just upset over your TV now.
Dude,
You know,
for
I mean,
days.
it's really.
Days it upset me.
Isn't that funny though?
I was just like, this is so dumb.
What did you get over it? You still mad about it?
Yeah. I'm not as passionate as I was. It's finally like, it's been a month or so, and so it's wearing off.
That's good. That's good. Time heals all wounds, right?
I just planted this grass in the backyard. It's coming with me. Just
Take
it all with
Take that sawed up.
but speaking of plants, a plant in a bucket or a container is personal property.
Technically, yeah, you could take that with you.
But if it's planted, it stays.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what we ended up taking because this is recorded.
You don't want the buyers coming back later?
Dude, Candace is in the backyard digging stuff up, and I'm like, what are you doing, hon? She goes, I'm taking some of these bulbs. Because you know how plants create bulbs.
Yeah.
I was like, well, maybe that's okay. Because it's like, maybe not a plant yet, but it's in there.
It's underground. It hasn't shown its true colors yet.
Is that funny?
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Anyway.
Pretty funny. Well, cool, man.
Yeah. Anything else we need to discuss while we're here?
That's it. Hey, we'll see you guys later.